Mission Monday update. You are definitely in the right place because we have, oh my gosh, so many things going on. You will find out about all these events coming up in the very near future. And we've got a very special guest joining us tonight as well. So stick around, find out more. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in the one and only Brian Gibson, founder of Project Die Hard. Brian, how you doing today?
Doing good. Just back in the green room. Yeah, great brother coming on. He was kind of a missed. You're used to this. He's not. Since the last time I talked with him in a meeting, right? I have been notified of 37 veterans that have lost their fight with the demon.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. He goes, that was a week ago. I said, yeah, that's what I was notified of.
Yeah. Imagine how many oh my gosh. Imagine how many the number really is. If you know of 37, you don't take this the wrong way, but you're just one person and you've been notified of 37.
Yeah.
Word's getting out there about Project Die Hard, but we need to get in front of these folks before they become one of that number.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or how about this? If you don't want to support us directly, support our outreach program members. They're doing their part. They don't question it. They're like, yeah, man, way to go. We're going to help as much as we can. So get out there and support them. Oh, where do you find them? Scan the QR code. Right there on the top. You can't miss it. It takes you to our website. Tells you everything about us, everything we're doing. Okay? Yeah, I didn't have time for a slideshow. Okay? So we're not having a slideshow.
And that's okay, because you've been a little busy.
Yeah, a tad bit. Okay? Yeah, folks, let's talk here. You've seen on our social media for a week now. We have what's coming up Wednesday?
The breakfast.
The fellowship breakfast, right?
Fellowship breakfast time.
The fellowship breakfast. You know, we're going on our 6th year of that.
That is amazing, and we're celebrating right there.
Going on 6 years. Look, folks, I report the numbers the day after, if I remember to, okay, because I really don't give a flying flip about how many veterans show up. If one shows up and gets a cup of coffee and gets to talk and gets a free meal, then everything I do is worth that one veteran. Oh, but last month, what was it, 40?
It was a good crowd, and several new.
9 first-time visitors.
That's huge.
That's a fellowship breakfast. Oh, and then wait, what do we got coming up later this week? Tater Day.
Tater Days are coming.
Drew Williams gave us a spot. You remember Drew? He was on the show a couple months ago. He runs Tater Day. He goes, man, you have a spot. And it's not back in a corner. It's right on Court Street. I'm talking right there. 80 to 100,000 people are going to be walking by that.
Awesome.
Outstanding. We need volunteers here locally. Because, yeah, I'm putting up the table that says, veteran, if you want to talk, have a seat. We'll talk. That's what the whole thing is for. When we go set up at other people's events, yes, it brings public awareness. But we're there because there's always a veteran somewhere in the room. And we might be that one voice, that one face that they need to keep going till the next day. And then after that, not this week, but the week after that, we're in Union City, Tennessee at Discovery Park of America Military Appreciation Day. If that's not God moving this mission, I don't know what is.
Big things. And I got to say, you made a comment. You never know if there's a veteran in the room. There often is. It's funny you said that, because that happened just today. One of my students that I had last fall, I had no idea she had a history of military service until a random conversation today. So that you never know who you're with and what's all going on.
And again, you might be the voice. You might be the face. That might take them to the next day. And then from there, we go from there. That's what our facilities are for. A place where veterans can come for a day and just unplug. You know what I mean? Come sit by the ponds and chill. Oh, wait. You want to take a blacksmithing class? Right over there, man. Go take it. Oh, you want to learn HVAC? Right over there in that building. Go learn it, man. Everybody gets wrapped around 12 single veterans and 2 veterans with their families. No, that's the number. Suck it up, Buttercup. That's it. You want to know why? Because that's what God said. This goes here. The 2 family rooms we're going to have. Wait, we're the only organization I still know of, and I'm not all-knowing, but I'm still the only organization, correction, I got to take that. I'm not. God's organization here is the only one willing to bring a veteran with their family to a facility to be a resident for a whole year at no cost. Oh, hence the CARES Foundation.
Yes.
Todd Lingo there came onto the show. Was that 2 weeks ago or last week? I'll be honest with you, sister. My calendar bings and got the podcast. I'm running around with so many pokers and fires.
It's all good. It all blends together after a while. And that's okay. That means there's a lot happening.
A lot happening. So, yeah. Oh, and then we got Operation Big Things. I do not understand. I am offering organizations, churches, nonprofits. If you're helping veterans, I want to give you a free booth at our blessing. And all I'm asking is you tell everybody you're going to be there. Oh, and our outreach partners. What do we got? Nonprofit TV, On the Mark TV, Easy Way TV, Meta TV, and I think we're going to be adding another one here next week. If everything goes right, Kurt's doing due diligence, folks. Okay? Kurt's doing a great job. He's keeping me informed. I'm watching the email traffic. I'm starting to get excited because that might be that one that tips over.
Great things are happening.
And we
just gotta keep that momentum moving.
But we can't do it all alone.
Oh my gosh. No, we've been calling out. We need more volunteers to join the party, join the adventure here, and help make great things happen.
Okay, on that, folks, if you're going to volunteer with us, don't ask us what needs done. Tell us what you're good at and how much time you're willing to give. We'll find a spot for you. I guarantee it. Now we brought that up, I got to go through the same 3 rules again. Rule number 1, God will never leave the mission. Rule number 2, we will never use the suffering of veterans for profit. And rule number 3, no drugs or alcohol allowed. Look, folks, those are the 3 standards set down by my Father God to me that I enforce. If you never break one of those 3 rules, you'll never have to see me unless you want to. You break one, I guarantee you're going to see me. All right, soapbox over. Let's get our guest in here so we can get some good work done.
All good. We are blessed to have a wonderful gentleman joining us tonight. Daniel Rubenstein is with All In Entry, and he is, oh my gosh, making a difference out there. And we love having him joining us here today. Daniel, so happy to see you. How are you?
Well, I was great until I heard that stat, to be candid with you. But I'm very honored to be here, and thank you for having me on your show. And hopefully we can chat for a little while about whatever we need to talk about, make a dent in the world, follow the 3 rules so I don't get yelled at, and see what we can do. So I'm here for a while to be with you. Thank you.
Appreciate that. So, well, do you want to go ahead and just give us a moment of telling us what it is that you do so we have some background here? Because I know I've got a sneak preview, but we want to share you with the world here.
Yeah, and you want me to do the tagline too? I know. I'll get you there.
I know. You know I love your tagline.
Stay tuned, kids. So hi, my company is called All In Entry, and we've been around for 15 years now with one primary focus. We've all heard the expression, the fortune's in the follow-up. Now, whether you're in a for-profit business or a not-for-profit or just not making any money, that is the key to success. If you have something important to share, you want to find enough people to share it with to make a dent in whatever you're trying to do. And you can't just hope for like a one-hit wonder and say, oh my gosh, somebody heard about me, our organization, and they're going to be, on it forever. That's just not how human behavior works. Okay. So I don't want this to sound like a sales pitch, but in terms of a relationship building concept,
Yes.
people need to know you, to like you, to trust you. Okay. People need to understand why you do what you do. That whole Simon Sinek, what's your why? They don't really care about what you do or how you do it until they understand the reason. And so that's what this organization is all about, is sharing the reason of what we're trying to accomplish here. Normally it's like, the better the list, the better you are. Not in this morning's conversation. I mean, that's a sad stat, and that's a limited window of a stat. So it's terrifying in all sincerity.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to share this message with as many people as possible, because I think conceptually most people know that there's a lot of veterans at risk. But it's kind of easy to put that off to the side and say, well, that's happening over there, unless it's someone you personally know. And then you're like, Jesus, what just happened?
Yeah.
And look, when someone gets into a down spot, they're not going and reaching out for enough help. We need to find the people there. We need to reach our hand out and say, come with us.
Brother, you're talking to the choir on that.
I'm
Everybody,
trying to talk to the bigger audience. Sit tight. No, I'm teasing.
our fellowship breakfast, right? We're going on to year number 6 of it, the first Wednesday of the month.
Yeah.
It took us 5 years to find a corporate sponsor. But we got one now. Praise God. Okay? That's all they sponsor is that fellowship breakfast.
That's fantastic.
It is.
The only thing is like, so in that situation, that's a good story. The only thing that would have been a better story is we would have found the corporate sponsor year 1.
Again, brother,
it's all progress.
It's all progress. But on that is, I swear, and don't quote me, but I got regulars that show up because this is the one event, one breakfast I will always be at. Well,
yeah, in
my hometown. But I wear volunteer shirts. I am no better than anybody else. Okay. I swear I got veterans that's their only time every month they get out of their house.
Well, and that speaks volume because they're showing up because of community and family and caring. And you know what? There's a lot of that's going around. It's just not as obvious for everyone or as organized. And as a result, help the veterans conceptually, great. But you even said it. Don't tell me what do you want me to do? Tell me what you can do. You got to meet in the middle because there's a lot to do. And
hold on, brother. I'm going to tout you up and get you back on your talk.
Point me back then.
Okay. Last week, Daniel and I had a meeting, right? Where we got to know each other. Yeah, they're coming on board. We're getting everything laid out. They're coming on board. But I said, hey, brother, could you do something with this? And I threw it in the chat. It was an Excel format.
Yeah.
Right? Look, guys. Next thing I know, I look into our CRM because someone said, hey, look in the CRM. And I'm like, okay, look at the CRM. That's how one of my team says look, so I'm going to go look. And boom, it's all there organized. And wow, it's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, explain, brother, the importance of that follow-up, what you were saying.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, the term CRM stands for Contact Relationship Manager. Other people call it your database, your marketing tool, or your list, just to understand what that really means in case that term wasn't specific for you. But it's a place that you can park all the contacts that you've ever met with any kind of notes and action plan on any one of them individually, collectively, or by a particular focus. Like if someone is really only interested in the monthly breakfast, you can send them notes about the monthly breakfast. And there was a list that Brian had gotten and it was sitting there. It should have been in his database. Now, I opened it up and I'm going to go a little geeky on us for a minute. There was some stuff that needed to be changed. Nothing major, but dot your I's and cross your T's, and to somebody in data entry, that's real. And then as a result of doing because I know this stuff, it only took me seriously a few minutes to fix what needed to be done. And then I was able to get it on and into the system. The time that it could have taken could have been weeks, months, or years without a little bit of an oomph. And that's all the thing needed was a little bit of oomph by someone who knows, that doesn't even sweat those things. And so when So the message to everyone, no matter what your cause is, everyone has a sphere of influence. The contacts that they're supposed to be talking about, the people that said, how can I help? Or the people that should be finding out about you. The more organized any group can be with just making sure they've got the names and emails and phone numbers and maybe company or something specific like what they're interested in doing or how they help. Like that provides intelligence on who to talk to about what. And if you can put out a consistent message over the course of time, that's how those corporate sponsor shows up. That's how membership and participation grow. And that's how we save more people's lives. And without it, we're falling short. You know, this is where a sales conversation be like, well, you missed a deal. Okay, whatever. That's not acceptable here.
Again, brother, what you did is outstanding. And we had that talk. You're a busy man. I got to revert back out to this call that we've been calling out is volunteers. Somebody knows somebody who can go in there and work with hand in hand with Daniel to get knowledge when you need it to make these things run smoother, and then we grow.
Exactly. All ships rise in high tide. And I believe it was the military, no man and woman left behind.
Yeah.
Like, and that is the real deal, people. Like this, there's some chaos out there. That's an understatement, okay? But there's a lot of people who still care deeply, even if they don't agree with other people on other issues. The caring is still the same caring, and when we can harness that collective energy, we're unstoppable. But when we're fragmented, disorganized, and scattered, everything slips through the cracks. And theoretically, we all know better. In the day-to-day, we get busy, we get stressed, we get overloaded, and we just go back to what we know. When I talk to people, they're like, what do you do? I said, at a high level, it's kind of coach-salting. Part coaching, part consulting, because part carrot, part stick, part question, part comment, and mostly a kick in the ass. But ultimately, my role to do the most impact is to help organizations realize the value of their database. Now, that's a complex statement because first, it's intellectually. If you don't understand what we're talking about here, conceptually, none of it's going to be, everything else is going to be annoying. Then it's electronically. Like these systems take data. Databases need data. People hate data entry. That's a shame. And if I say garbage in, everyone knows what the other side of that comment is. And that was talking about a database. Okay. Mm-hmm. The third part is the financial thing, which is where everybody wants to land. I get it. That's the fun stuff. Whether it's closing your sale or getting a big donation or a corporate sponsor or just knowing that you actually were in touch with someone that needed to be in touch with so they can be in touch with again. Okay. This is a process. This is a mindset. And while it's not necessarily the fun and sexy stuff of going to the breakfast, if you can send more announcements about the breakfast, more people show up, and go figure, then the breakfast is better. And here's the other thing. Even if they're not in the same state or would never be able to make that breakfast, the fact that they know you're having that breakfast registers. Like even if we see the emails and we know that they're long and silly and we don't, it's all the same story, we recognize that group is still in the game playing it.
Again, we're going on to 6 years on that. We've had interest in wanting to start a fellowship breakfast in other places. I want that to happen.
Right.
I cannot pull that trigger without the support to do it and do it right.
Right, which includes a bunch of things. I mean, one, you have to have somebody in whatever city you want this to happen to, like be the band leader, whatever the chair, whatever that thing is, baton, and then you have to have a way to how a guide on how do you do a good breakfast, including how do you promote it, how do you set it up, how do you follow up, how do you make it so that it was good enough the first time to get more people to come the second time, and what about this? What about if you could get everybody who showed up to bring a friend next time?
Yeah.
Like that's reasonable. But you know what? Here's the thing. You could see why some of this stuff just slips through the cracks because candidly, you're a busy guy. You don't like Excel. So like you weren't going to play with that. It was just fortunate that I'm like, well, let me see this. I mean, and here's the deal. You're a great guy with a great mission. Whatever it was, I would have probably done it for you for free anyway. Don't tell everybody on the call listening to this. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, got it.
But for me to be able to do something in just a few minutes and get the ball going, I mean, that makes me feel good. Okay. When I work with clients, especially organizations that are the not-for-profit realm and, they're mission driven and, budgets are tight. Doesn't matter whether you're for profit or not, but I'm always willing to talk to groups to say, let's see what we can pull together. If there's real juice that has to happen, okay. But you know what? Even if I can just point someone in the right direction, that makes me feel like I'm doing my mitzvah.
Brother, that's the whole thing. What you did moved this mission forward. Okay? How did it move it forward? It's now in the database. Those are all big contacts from our trip out to Arizona that got uploaded.
And so think about this. If this is a list of people where you met at a conference and the conversation without knowing the details sounds a lot like, hey, nice to meet you. I'll be in touch. Like they had a right to expect you to be in touch. And if they were thinking about you and you were in touch, 1 in 20 of those people does anything big for your group. I mean, it was certainly, otherwise, how do you rationalize the effort of going to the show?
Again, brother, the Dink and Dine pickleball court in Mesa, Arizona has joined our Club 22. So that whole trip out there, in my eyes, success. We got a Club 22 member.
Right. Now the trick is, how do we parlay that into somebody who's doing a breakfast out there?
Excuse me.
And how do we find somebody to pat you on the back while he's coughing here? But yeah, no, I mean, listen, that's why I was so excited to come onto your call. Not to go into nitty gritty detail about some of the detail stuff that we worry about, but just to let people know there's hope. For a lot of the people that listen to this has been getting their list together has been a thorn in their side. Whether they've thought about it or not, whether they want to admit it or not, it is rare to find any organization that is so on top of this that I say, man, you're good. You don't need me. Or someone like me. There's people in your own groups that could possibly do some of this stuff. Like this is just literally saying, don't let the obstacles and excuses stop you from this mission.
Right.
My mission is simply letting people know about your mission.
Again, that's how it works. Excuse me.
Tops to the truth.
Well, and Kurt's in the background here too. I'm going to go ahead and bring him in. And because he's been the connecting point here in bringing Daniel on board. And Kurt, I'm going to go ahead and give you the mic.
Well, hold on 1 second before Kurt goes. I got to throw it out there.
Yes.
Let us help you get your sheet together.
That's my favorite tagline of any business ever. Is that right there? Stay
Yeah,
with
the
us, Brian.
the other part of this, Daniel, is when we work with Brian, you know, we're helping get our sheep together too, right?
Ah.
Oh.
Ooh, bringing it in.
I could embellish on that one, but I'm kind of not going there because it's not pretty. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, every organization I've ever met has the same ultimate goal. Do something that makes a difference, keep the lights on, and have a little bit of leftover so we can plan for the next challenge.
Wow, that's all in a nutshell right there.
That's the whole thing. I don't know why so people are confused about so many things, right?
Well, honestly, I don't know how people are so confused about this.
They
God
overthink
will never
everything.
leave the mission. We will never use the suffering of veterans for profit, and there's no drugs or alcohol allowed.
Ta-da! That's it.
That's it.
Now let's go make a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know what? Here's the thing. My company is for profit. Like, I do charge because I've got to get paid, but like, this is not about getting rich off anything. If there's
No.
something that needs to get done, fair deal. If I can point somebody to how to do it on their own, or I can do something, a quick layup, man, like, it's worth it. Look, because here's the deal. I'm on this call because of just doing something that was a no-brainer for me.
Brother,
And it meant something to him, and that's why we're here.
yeah, you're on the call because you're joining our mission, right? You understand that what I'm doing is important. You have a skill that moved our mission forward 10 times in the past week. That boom, 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 right? This is what we need, folks. We need everybody to come on board and do their little thing, and then that transfers into bigger things. Daniel, what he said took 5 minutes. I was staring at that thing for hours going,
He was so close.
No, I wasn't. I'm a medic.
Listen, I
somebody
do
who's
different.
bleeding.
I do triage as well. It's just a slightly different, and I don't get my hands as dirty. I wish I had the skill.
Everybody has a skill.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. That's what I was going to say. It's one person's little thing is somebody else's overwhelming thing. We all have different skills and talents that we bring forward, and that's what makes a team a team. You know, if we all could hit that same hammer or that same nail with the same hammer, you know, then we only need one person that can really do that well. I'd love to have many, but if we all have our own thing that we know how to hit, that makes this work.
Look, my sport of choice is F1 racing. When they are doing pit stops where they're changing all 4 tires on a car, 2 seconds is the target. By 3, they're late. Okay, that's 22 people diving into a vehicle that is roasting hot, and it's all got to fly together. And if not, that changes whether they won or not. Like, wow. That is teamwork at its best, and it's not ego, it is action. They are working so hand in hand. They know what the other people are doing so well, they don't have to worry about it being done. The more organizations have that synergy to say, we know what we're up to, we know why we're doing what we're doing, we know how we're doing it, we're going to do it well, and then we're going to go back and figure out what we could have done better. Okay, I believe that's one of the core competencies of the military model.
Yeah, it is. After every operation, we regroup and we talk about what went right, what went wrong. It's called an after-action review. And those are so important. I do that with my team every time we do an event. Okay, what's the AAR? What went right? What went wrong? How are we going to improve this?
Yeah, who said who? What follow-up items were talked about so that we can follow through.
Again, you're talking about the formula racers. Yeah, look, folks, understand 22 people. That's about the average that come over the wall. Every one of those people know exactly what lug nut they're touching.
Yeah, it's a
And
single wheel nut. But yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I mean,
but
they have.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Everybody touches their part of that whole thing.
yeah. Two guys' job is just to make sure they hold the car steady so it doesn't wiggle around on the other people.
Yeah.
Like, here's the deal. I saw when they were testing, they did it in pitch black to see how the team performed. And the first time they did it, it took them about 7 seconds. By the time they got to the 10th run and practicing, they were back into the 2.5 to 3 second range in pitch black conditions.
Yeah.
You talk about muscle memory and conditioning. And look, it's one thing to do something well enough that you can get it done right. It's another to practice enough times that you can't do it wrong. And when
I
you
love
focus, yeah, it's a good one. And when you focus on that level of excellence, you might not get there the whole time, but that's a very high bar to set to. And then it also sets the pace for the rest of the people you're trying to motivate. When you do your job right, that's called leadership. People like to follow leaders because leaders do the right things and they're open to suggestions. It's not a dominant thing, but like the whole point is, and I don't want to just go too much. People are saying, I'm interested, get back in touch with them. Say thank you. Say this is say, what would you like to do? Ask questions, listen, and respond. Like, you do the right thing, you get the right results with less stress and candidly less mess. And we know what that means here. And that is why I am proud to be part of Project Die Hard and appreciate you inviting me onto this call and into the world. And look, I'm here to help everybody.
Yeah.
They'll figure out how to contact me and all that through this later. I'm not trying to be promotional here, but I am here to help people. And I do believe that when you get your sheet together, it's a step in the right direction.
Always.
Always.
Again, folks, I can't stress this enough. I take no credit for everything that goes right in this mission. None whatsoever. I take no credit. It goes to God and my team. But I know there's two people on the screen that can attest if something goes wrong, where does it land? Right on me. And I have no problem taking it. Because that's my leadership style. We got in discussions, and since we're all here publicly, let's just lay out the laundry. If you badmouth my team, you don't want to talk to me. You don't. Because they've earned the right to advise me and guide this mission. You haven't. All right. My team is so important. I cherish their time, their efforts. They're doing the best they can. I'll be honest, when you fill out that volunteer form and you join the team, you're going to fall under somebody, not me, somebody. And then they fall under somebody and then they hit me. If you meet us at a fob on the third Saturday of the month, I'll hand you the shovel because I'm going to be there with you. I'm no better than anybody else. But if you're coming to watch everybody else work, I'm going to have words with you. I'm sorry, that just came out.
Oh, I love that. Kind of like all-in entry as a business. You're all in with what's going on here. You're part of the. You're not standing back and watching the team. You are intricately involved and pitching in just as much as everybody else. Actually, more than everybody. Whether they
You're all
realize
in
it or
or you got good excuses.
oh, say that again.
You're either all in or you got good excuses.
Yep.
I've never heard a good excuse. 26 years in the Army, running soldiers, never heard a good one. I've heard a lot of them. As I was getting up there in the ranks and the age, I told my soldiers, look, if you can tell me an excuse I haven't heard, I'll give it to you free. And they're like, ooh, that's going to be tough.
Yeah. But they'll try.
Oh, yeah, they'll try.
You know,
Private Jones, why were you late for formation again? Well, Sergeant, you know, I was shacked up with this girl, and dude, playing backwards.
so some people think that when something starts, it's a good time to leave and head off towards it. Other people are like, well, I want to time it directly on the spot. And other people are like, if I'm not there 10, 15 minutes early, settle down, then I'm late waiting. And it's a choice. I think that sometimes too many people think they can pull off, oh, let me get one more thing done. But the challenge is that like what people don't realize is that if they're behind by a minute, it's not 1 minute. It's 1 minute times everyone else in the room. So it's a half an hour. And if the leader is late by 2 minutes, then no one thinks they need to be there. And so the tone, the bar gets lowered. And, you know, not being a veteran, it's weird being on this call.
Kurt's not a veteran. Susan's not a veteran.
Oh, I thought they were. So I just figured I was an oddball in the house, which is probably, I knew that wasn't the case. But
I'm outnumbered. You know what? I'm not worried about it.
No, but, you know, I just think that when people can slow down to speed up, be a little bit more intentional, plan out a little bit further, it actually smooths off the rough edges for everything in life.
You know what we use in the military? Smooth is slow is smooth. Smooth is fast.
Yeah. And it's consistent and predictable. And, you know, that's this whole talk today was literally about following up with the people that you said you would or you knew you should.
Yeah.
And share a decent story and listen and let the people who are interested volunteer and the other people know. And you don't know who they know. Might not be for them, and they might go home to dinner with their family and someone else is like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this is important. Like, stay the course and do what we should do. And you know, that's what I got for you, kids.
Yeah.
Daniel with All in Entry, love to help.
And trust me, guys, we will make sure all his contact information will be on our socials here really soon.
Yeah.
It'll be on our website. So all you have to do is go and click it, and it'll take you right to them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, let's have a call. I try. I'm not scary. I try and be funny for a boring data guy, but like
Look, hey guys, brothers, sisters, look, he's passed the test. If you're a veteran business and you need his services, reach out to him. He's passed the test because I know when I open up my meeting and I start my meetings every way I start them. Hi, thank you for your time. Have you reviewed the information that my team has sent you? And he went, yes. And I went, all right. Now we can get to work. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. You send him something, he reads it. When he came to our meeting, and I remember, I'll give anybody time. You got a question, I'll make time for you. But he came to our meeting fully prepared, fully ready to rock and roll.
Thank you.
That's, to me, that shows a heart, that shows respect, that shows, hey, here's somebody that actually believes in veterans. Here's a person that cares. Can't do a lot right now, and I understand that. But he did a little. And that's what this takes. Everybody doing a little. And that includes my brothers and sisters. Every day, do a little bit better. Every day. But just a little bit better. That's how hope is found. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Look at your watch. What time is it? Be here tomorrow at that time. Come on, we all learned that in every school we went to in the military. To succeed, you have to be here. You can't vanish. On that, I just got a text from a veteran, so you know where I go. Take it to the end team. Keep up the great work. But I got a veteran reaching out, and everything stops from there. You got my message of hope for them.
Excellent. You got it. Thank you very much, Brian. So that, well, and actually, Kurt, I'm going to go ahead and pass the baton your direction here for just a moment. I know you haven't said much today, and I know you've always got updates and news and things happening. I know we've got even another, sorry, I got a fly. It's that time of year. Oh my gosh, there's a fly. I'm sorry, it's starting to warm up here. We've had the nicest day we've had in a long time. We actually had windows open, and it's like, oh, summer's coming. That to me, that's a piece of hope itself. I love that warm weather, that warm breeze on my face. That's very refreshing. So, Kurt, I'm going to pass it your way.
And then I'm going to need to check out. But listen, thank you. And listen, the work you two are doing across many organizations is beyond admirable. It's so well needed and so appreciated. And so I want to applaud you two and thank you. You know, Kurt knows that just tell me where I want to be, whatever you two say, however I can support you. You got my unlimited support. But now I've got to go take care of my dog. So peace out.
All good. I get that. Thank you so much, Daniel. I really appreciate you being here.
Bye-bye. Take care. See ya.
Have a great night.
Bye, Daniel.
So, and I want to make a point of actually, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit, and I'm going to bring up how to reach him so that people can reach out easily and find Daniel.
All right. So, Sue, it sounded like you were looking for a little bit of an update. So yeah, I come in late to this production because I'm on with the Happy Neighborhood Project. Debbie Miller, co-hosting that event. and with Emily, Emily Gomer is out there restreaming this onto Facebook and LinkedIn and so forth. So yeah, there's a lot of elements behind the scenes that we're working on. That other players in the field of what we do, like your Daniel say, the many groups he's helped, a group called helpopedia.org. I'm on the board for Helpopedia. We're doing a special needs resource directory, and I also for Spirit of the Game Foundation. I'm the America's Chair for the Impactful Veterans Network of Spirit of the Game Foundation, and I also talk about that in my past involvements with Optimus International, being a builder of excellence. I had a meeting today with a colleague from the Regenerative Media Alliance. So we got some folks there taking a look at how veterans are going to be a part of their schematic and their strategies and business plan. So yeah, so with the Happy Neighborhood Project, Spirit of the Game, Helpopedia, Mutual Aid Network, we just had a summit. We did a March summit, and so that has a lot of formats that is on the ready, offered to what we're doing at Fob Rush, and otherwise for our mission here at Project iHeart. Emily and I are working board members of Humans United Mutual Aid Networks. And so Sue's bringing up here all in entry with Daniel Rubenstein. Now, I point out that Daniel's initials are DR. So I like to spin that around and say he's the DR or doctor of all in entry. And then Brian, our founder president here, he's been known as Doc. People um, in his squad call him Doc. Hey Doc, hey Doc this, hey Doc that. So we've got our docs in here, and Sue and I are water skiers, and we always start on the dock.
And I like my favorite. I got to give it to you. My favorite joke. Where do you take your boat when it's sick? Bring it to the dock. So that's my little goofiness for the day. So go ahead. I'm gonna pass it back.
Well, one thing I want to bring out is that veterans are 6% of the U.S. population. So what that should mean in practical terms is how in reach your role here at Project iHeart is. When you walk into your church, temple, synagogue, mosque, your faith space, the veteran connection is there. When you go to any other nonprofit, if you go to any nonprofit that is not necessarily a veteran mission, they're not declaring the veteran devotion in their mission, those nonprofits still have the veteran component present with that other nonprofit with an other mission. When you go and you get your professional business, personal development, when you go on to webinars and so forth, the veteran component is there. When you look at in our government, outside of veteran services, outside the work of the VA and so forth, when you go to these other councils and boards, and you go to your city hall, so forth, the veteran component is there. Sue and I do a lot of business networking. Sue and I co-host the business networking group, and we know the veteran component is there. And when we say we work to live, and you look at any of you out there, what's living it to you when you go and do that sporting event, that recreational event, when you go to a drama production, when you go into these spaces, the veteran component is there. And that's something to really get cognizant of, because as we talked about earlier in this program, the declaration or identification of veterans in most of what we do in life is not there. the veteran role is not stated. It's not made obvious to you. You have these programs, and it comes across in an edutainment fashion, educational and entertaining. Risk of doing this podcast. It's a big risk doing this podcast because those of you out there can sit back and, like Daniel was quick to applaud Sue and I, or Sue and me, I guess would be the proper English. But in any case, you can sit back there and, enjoy the show. But what are the last three letters of show? Is how. We are showing you how to be a part of this mission. We asked routinely. Brian taught us this, pray, share, volunteer, patron. We give you those 4 ways because we find that, as I've said it before, I conjure it up to say this is an all hands on deck initiative. I mentioned Debbie Miller. She's with Legal. When veterans are out there calling for our help, calling for our participation, calling for our ears, they're doing a scene size up. Kurt's got 2 ears. Maybe he'll figure out, flip a coin, which ear is he going to listen with, whatever. Just to be able to listen. We say, check your vet. And I've said on past shows that it's very easy to say, well, I don't have a vet. The idea is maybe that's a 2-part process. Get your vet. So maybe we got to do hashtag get your vet to get that first step. So that's what we're doing here. And Sue and I are figuring this out with all of you. A few years ago, I was on with Irene Voxberg out of Los Angeles, California, on Facebook Live. And I was talking and talking and talking away like I am right now. And then Irene's like, oh, pardon me, Kurt. We have another guest, she says. Oh, who's the other guest? Well, it was Brian. Now just think of that moment. Okay, Brian's coming on. Okay. I could have sat back. I could have left the podcast. I mean, oh, my part's done. Bye. But no, I listened to Brian. I listened to Irene say we have a veteran on, and I perked up and I leaned into it. And I kept with it. And I kept with Brian. And Brian indulged me with a phone conversation. And he indulged me. He didn't know I was a guy that could talk for an hour. So Brian's first interaction with me was taking his stage time in a podcast, unbeknownst to me, but then to talk his ear off for an hour. So here we have a veteran listening to a non-veteran. It was a lot of exchange, but at the end, we exchanged enough that, he wanted me to volunteer for Project iHeart. And as I learned the ropes and as he took me under his wing, this whole ambassadorship thing came together. And he empowered me to participate with the Happy Neighborhood Project where we met Irene Voxberg, to really play a strong role with H&P supporting veterans. So that's what I want to leave you with. Whatever your thing is, your church, your volunteer group, your educational offering, your school, your agency that's not a veteran agency in government, your business, your sports team, your rec team, whatever you do for fun, your hiking group. Find out with these people. How about we proclaim that this group supports veterans? How about we make that thing all around the world, that every group supports veterans? What a difference that would make. Sue, over to you.
And every time we are here, we always wrap things up sharing that word of hope for our veterans. And I think you just nailed it with all of what you're talking about here. And it is all, I'm going to bring this across here as well. Operation Big Things. That just speaks to me as far as where we're going and what's coming forward with every bit of this. my word as always is, God's not done with you yet. You are here for a reason. We're all here for a reason. We are bringing things forward in the best way we know how. And the only thing that's missing right now is you. You are part of this mission, whether you know it or not yet. You are part of this, and we would love to have you hop in with us and start playing in the sandbox with us, so that we can do things together. That's what it's all about. That's where we get to see where we can really go. So for all of us here with Project Die Hard, we absolutely appreciate every bit of what people are bringing forward. And as always, we thank you.